Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age 2! In the last episode, we left the Grey Warden research notes at the Dead Drop location. Hopefully they get them back safe and sound. And I believe we were going to head to Ariane's next. Tell her that her boy is safe and sound in the circle. He might be very angry with her, but it's for the best. That's where he's gonna be safest. Hopefully, they can get his dreams under control. Fingers crossed. Now then, hello, my dear.
Well, he went kicking and screaming, but your boy is at the circle.
He may never forgive me for sending him there, but I'd rather him alive and furious than dead and buried. As I said, I have little money, but this is a Dalish ring that has been in my family for generations. Please accept it with my thanks.
Oh, sweetheart, you really didn't have to give me the ring. Also, yes, that delicious rivalry. I eat it up. Nom nom nom. Let's take a look. Oh, hello. Flippin' heck. Ooh. That's actually very good. Fenris. But then again, you have these two amazing rings. Yeah, I think I might end up selling that, unfortunately. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, you can have the runed silver ring. A runed silverite ring, rather. Okay. Now then, next place I was gonna go was that I was gonna head to the docks. However, we need to sell some shit. We need to do that quickly. Come along, people. Lucky there are merchants close by. Now then, weaponsmith. Take my junk. There, we could flip in it. We had 30 pieces of junk. Damn. We don't need any of the bows. And... oh, this is another time when I'm like, oh, I preferred how the system was in Origins, where you could click on a little drop-down menu and it would show all of your companions, compared to in DA2, where it's just the ones you have in your party. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that both Merrill and Anders have better stuff. Yeah, so I'm gonna get rid of both of them. Fenris buddy. Yeah, these are all two-handed. And if Fenris has better, then our brother will have better, so they can all go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at Isabella for these. Yeah, that's not better. That can go. This can go, and so can you. Good stuff. That 2 ring can go. That's not very good. Okay. Okay, I'm good with that. Yes, now then, to the docks. We have to go see the Qunari. Yay! Amelia is so looking forward to this. Sarcasm. As I said before, Amelia really doesn't want anything to do with the Qunari. Interacting with them gives her a headache. And I can't imagine she's all that excited about heading into their compound. I mean, they keep it locked off. She's never been in there before. Banter? No banter? What? Guys? Oh, I don't like that. That makes me sad. Okay, in we go.
Let me pass. I have business with the dwarf Javaris and your Arishok.
The short mouth, yes. Enter if you must, Basra.
That name! For a dwarf, the short mouth. I can only imagine Arten's reaction if someone called her that. Oof, it wouldn't be pretty. The Qunari. The people of the Qun are, perhaps, the least understood group in Thedas. The Qunari Wars were brutal, but so was the Chantry Schism. So was the fall of the Imperium. Some of this misunderstanding is an accident of nature. The race we call Qunari are formidable. Nature has given them fierce horns and strange eyes, and the ignorant look on them and see monsters. Some of this is an accident of language. Few among the Qun's people speak the common tongue, and fewer speak it well. In a culture that strives for mastery, to have only a passable degree of skill is humiliating indeed, and so they often keep quiet among foreigners out of shame. But much of it is a result of the culture itself. The Qunari view their whole society as a single creature, a living entity whose health and well-being is the responsibility of all. Each individual is only a tiny part of the whole, a drop of blood in its veins, important not for itself, but for what it is to the whole creature. Because of this, the Qunari most outsiders meet belong to the army, which the Qun regards as if it were the physical body, arms, legs, eyes and ears, the things a creature needs in order to interact with the world. One cannot get to know a person solely by studying his hand or his foot, and so one cannot truly meet the Qunari until one has visited their cities. That is where their mind and soul dwell. In Saharon and Parvolan, one can truly see the Qunari in their entirety. There, the unification of the Qunari into a single being is most evident. Workers, whom the Qun calls the mind, produce everything the Qunari require. The soul, the priesthood, seeks a greater understanding of the self, the world, and exhorts the body and mind to continually strive for perfection. The body serves as the go-between for the mind, the soul, and the world. Everyone and everything has a place, decided by the Qun, in which they work for the good of the whole. It is a life of certainty, of equality, if not individuality. From the writings of the Seer of Kontar in 841 Blessed, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I love the Qun. They are my favourite faction in all of Thedas. I am obsessed by them. I actually played a Qunari, a Tamazran, in Angel Art's Dragon Age Season 3 tabletop campaign. You can actually still go and find my audition for that. It's up on my channel. It's one of the earlier videos. And I adored Pasha. I still adore Pasha. I love the character I created. I know I've said this before. I would really love to play a Qunari in Dragon Age 4, and I don't mean the race, I mean a practitioner of the Qun, a Qunari, not a Kossith. I highly doubt that would ever be possible, just because the Qun is so complex, and we as the players really don't understand much of it. As it goes into here, we haven't seen the whole of the Qun. We've interacted with the army and military peoples. We have not interacted with either the mind or the soul, and as such we only have a very skewed view of the Qunari, and because of that I can't see them letting us play as a practitioner. It would be very interesting though. Oh, I love the Qun so much. Okay, anything? No, nothing knocking about over here. Excuse me, Varric. Hello, people, and Javaris. Nice to see you.
Ah, my right hand arrives. Summon your heir, Ashok. The bargain is done. About time you showed. I've been here for hours.
Ari Shokost, Maras Shokra, Anan Isam Qun. Hewn from an elf? The madness of this place.
Do you know him? What was that all about? Yeah, I think Amelia is rather concerned to be hearing Cunlat coming out of Fenris's mouth. She's just kind of like, wait, what? You speak their barbaric language? Pardon?
Tell me that helped.
We shall see.
Yes, well, that said, I'm here to report that your hated Talvishoth were felled, one and all, right? Yes, they were. So, I'm ready to open negotiations for the explosive powder, as we agreed.
No.
He's not getting it. Make your chatty elf say something.
I love the Arashok. I love him so much. I've seen people shipping the Arashok and Hawk, and I'm not against it, to be very honest. I like him. Fenris, if you could negotiate for us, please.
Any insight that would help?
Qunari do not abandon a debt. I humbly request clarification from the Arishok.
I have a growing lack of disgust for you. The dwarf imagined the deal for the Gatlock. He invented a task to prove his worth when he has none.
Then we have wrongly inserted ourselves in your affairs. Would you have us kill this dwarf?
Wait, what now?
If you face Talvishoth, he is not worthy of dying to you, as he was not worthy of dying to them. But you keep good company. Let him live, and leave.
I love that whole interaction. Just, would you have us kill this dwarf? Part of me's like, I wish he had said yes. I don't like Javaris. Okay, you'd better leave, Javaris. I was promised future profits. He still owes me. Ooh. I don't think Amelia is adverse to taking the Qunari's money. If this was the Chantry, she'd be like, oh, I took out those bandits to do a good thing. You don't need to pay me. But this is the Qun. And so she's like, yeah, I'll take your money. I don't care about what you're spending it on. Give it to me. I do think that Amelia is taking point from Fenris here. And he still owes me sounds very petulant. It sounds like, oh, he still owes me. Like, it sounds quite childish and whiny. I was promised future profits sounds more professional. And I mean, just look at how Fenris was speaking. I humbly request clarification. He was being very professional, so I think Amelia would try to mimic that almost.
He had big plans for your recipe. I was supposed to get a piece of that.
Dwarf, did your imaginary bargain make promises on my behalf?
I expected your wisdom to be more profitable.
Then you will pay on my behalf.
It's not at all. Take your coin, take whatever. Hornhead oxmen and mongrel doglords, suck your own powder and blow your head off, sod it.
You will leave as well, human. There's no more coin for you here.
Yeah, I thought this in the, I'm going back to the little cutscene with Leandra where she talks about her mother, about how when she left, her mother said, oh, your children will be mongrels. I thought that has to be a slur for Ferelden. Given that Fereldans are dog lords, a slur for them would have followed the dog theme. So yeah, mongrel dog lords. That asshole. We should have killed. Why didn't you tell us to kill him? It would have been doing us a favor. Yeah, I'm not leaving. I want to talk to you.
I dislike this place, but why do you bother me, human? The dwarf paid you. There is no more. Your kind thinks selfishness and want are normal. This city, all of it, leaves a bad taste.
I think Amelia is taking this opportunity to speak to the Arishok, because bear in mind, the Qunari don't typically let people in their compound, at least not randomers off the street. They don't want to be gawked at. And personally, I understand that completely. From Amelia's perspective, these heathens wash upon her shore, take root in her city, and then they just stick around. And they're not even asking for anything. They're just staying in the docks, doing nothing, saying nothing, just kind of living their lives. And so I think I like then why stay? Out of fine I'll leave and the Qunari are hated too. Just because that, one, she wants to know, why are you here? Why are you sticking around? And how do I put this? I've said this before, the Qun gives her a headache. It's clearly a load of bullshit, and anyone who believes in it is a fool. This is the one part of Amelia's character that makes me very uncomfortable. The complete and utter dismissal of other cultures and ideas. It makes me very sad because I don't agree with that personally, but this is Amelia. Amelia's head is so stuffed full of chantry rhetoric that I don't think she sees that she's being very rude. And just, she's not being accepting of other people. I don't think that she sees that. Despite her hatred of the Qun, I can't see her being aggressive with them. As I said before, she typically reserves aggression for other mages. These people aren't mages. Also, she's walking into their house where they are armed and armoured to the teeth and then mouthing off. That doesn't sound very smart. That sounds like a really stupid thing to do. So, yeah, I don't think she'd be aggressive towards them. Fine, I'll leave. That tells us nothing. She wants to know why they're here.
If you despise this place, why haven't you left?
Since we arrived, I have seen nothing but greed and weakness. Dwarves, humans, elves, just festering. No order, no goal. You are one of the few I have met with any ability. And yet this too was random, a result of selfishness. I cannot fathom how a mire like this can be justified. You say we should leave, but how can you bear to stay in this chaos?
Something I'd like to point out, Amelia thrives in order, and she loves schedules, and a lot of what the Arishok is saying makes a lot of sense to her. When there is chaos, society suffers. Everyone should be in their proper place where they are meant to be and just accept that and live your life. That's what Amelia believes. And that is not too dissimilar from the Qun. However, Amelia is so stuck on the Chant of Light that she could never admit that similarity. She would never admit that. She will, oh no, I don't believe in anything similar to the Qun. It's heathenous and barbaric and da-da-da-da-da. You know, she absolutely could not see the similarity in what she believes and what the Arishok believes. I hope to make it better. It's life, glorious and what this is the least Amelia thing. Amelia is a timid little church mouse. Glorious and wild are not words in her vocabulary. I don't like it either. Weakness provides opportunity. That seems far too mercenary. I don't think Amelia is a very mercenary person, so that's no on those two. This just seems very wishy-washy oh, I don't like it either, but you're not saying what you do want. I do think Amelia wants to make it better. She wants to make it better by getting as many mages in the circle as she possibly can, and then joining them and not harming anyone. If she becomes an abomination in the circle, then she'll be taken out almost immediately. She'll be fine. That's how she wants to make society better.
My welcome to the city was not so different from yours.
And yet you suffer it.
It's an opportunity to make a real difference.
Karasten are soldiers. The Qun made it so. They can never vary from that assigned path, never be other than they are meant to be. But they are free to choose within that role, to accept and succeed, or deny and die. Glory is clear and defined. Could not this entire city benefit from that certainty? How else will you know when you have made a real difference?
Is that a threat, buddy?
Sorry, I find myself distracted by deny and die.
And yet you accept the random violence that plagues this nation. I wonder if the weaker of your citizens would be so close to certainty. Our role may have to change, if the Qun demands. I suspect we are done, human.
Not yet, sir. We have questions. Why not sell the Gatlock? Tell me of the Tal-Vashoth. You'd impose help on the city. What was your mission? Yeah, Amelia wants to go through all of these. I would like it noted, Amelia is very glad that he wasn't actually selling the Gatlock. I said this at the time. Amelia wasn't on board for everyone having the ability to create a large amount of destruction at the snap of their fingers. The only reason why she kind of went along with Javaris is because she was kind of like, well, I'll eventually clear out the Tal-Vashoth anyway, and if I do that, he's just gonna go behind my back and claim my handiwork as his. So I might as well get some of that Qunari gold whilst I'm doing this. That was the only reason why she went along with that.
You guard your powder carefully.
It is a tool that can only be allowed to exist under the ordered authority of the Qun.
It could benefit many people.
It does now. Just as swords benefit warriors, but are not given to children. Well, your children.
Was that a hint of a smile I saw on his face? Okay. Also, for clarification, when Amelia said it could benefit a lot of people, that was more just like an open-ended question to gauge where the Qunari are at. Amelia doesn't believe that herself. Yeah, tell me of the Tal-Vashoth, please.
How many Qunari have you lost to the Tal-Vashoth?
None.
Optimistic, considering my death toll.
We lose nothing when weakness abandons the Qun. It is the Tal-Vashoth who have lost themselves.
I met an honorable one.
Doubtful.
He said he was a mercenary, not a murderer.
Then I know he made no claim to honor. When they sell themselves, little remains. He is not even dead to the Qun. He is a living insult.
I don't think Kirkwall would do well under military rule.
The rule of the Qun is not military. It is discipline and order.
How is that different?
To your limited understanding, it is not. You fear soldiers that arrive to remove your pitiable vices. But they do not control Qunari. The Triumvirate divides and governs. One is nothing without the others.
Can you tell me about the other two parts?
No.
Now you're just being difficult.
I am no more equipped to explain than you are to understand. Arishok, Arigena, Arikyun, pillars of the Qunari, of the nation that must be. There is but one way to know these things, human, and I have yet to decide if it must be done.
You're a long way from home. Why did you come?
To meet a demand of the Qun.
Which was?
It is a matter only the Qunari understand. We remain until we fulfill the demand of the Qun. Or until the demand changes.
Alrighty then, big fella.
Farewell.
Panahedan, human.
Ta-ra indeed. Also, server connection lost. Oh no. Oh well. Yeah, let's head out. I would just like to say for clarification, Amelia doesn't have anything against the race, the Qunari. She has nothing against the Horned Giants. If, one of them were to enter the Chantry and say, hey, I'm looking to convert, she would greet them as a brother or sister. She'd be like, come on down, sit next to me. Let me teach you about this. Let me tell you what the service is going to be like. And she would be so excited to do so, just like she would be for an elf trying to join the Chantry, or a dwarf. It's basically it's anyone who believes in a religion that isn't the Chant of Light. As I said, that as a player makes me very uncomfortable. I disagree with that principle entirely. I think that is a disgusting thing to... Oh, they've closed the gates. They've locked us out. Oh well. What was I saying? Yeah, I think that's a disgusting thing to do. Both in fiction and in real life, but that's just who Amelia is. Whereas Artin really didn't care about other religions. Artin was like, I believe in the stone. I believe in the ancestors. I don't get all of these other religions, but they can do whatever the hell they want because they aren't hurting me, and I really don't give a shit about them. Amelia's problem is that she gives too much of a shit. She's like, I must save their immortal souls, and it's just like, calm down, girl. Take a chill pill. Maybe don't be a giant dick to everyone. Could you try that? Oh, Amelia. Maybe she gets better. I'm just gonna put that out there. Maybe she stops doing that as the game progresses. I don't know. You'll have to find out later. I've only got 2 minutes left on my timer, so let's read some code. Oh no. This is active now. Varric's contacts say that a Chantry sister has been flashing coin around Lowtown, fishing for help with some unnamed problem. Details are light, but it may have something to do with the Qunari. He recommends checking for her in Lowtown. Oh, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Just to finish off my thought about Amelia, the reason why I made Amelia so intolerant, I guess, yeah, you would call it that. She is pretty intolerant. One, I wanted a very different character than my canon warden. And two, I very rarely play completely intolerant characters. Of my 6 wardens, only 2 of them were intolerant. So I was like, we've got to add more to the pile. Add more to the pile that makes me ever so sad. But I love her still. Okay, Javia's shank. When the Carter crime boss, Barat, fell, his lover Javia fought off rivals, planting this shank in each of their hearts before she emerged as the group's undisputed leader. For years, Javia used a mix of brutality, cunning, and blackmail to grow the Carter's power until it threatened the Diamond Quarter itself. When King Endrin Idukan died, some whispered that Javia planned to force the Assembly to recognize the rights of the Dusters in Orzammar. Others said she planned to overthrow the nobles entirely. The truth will never be known, though. She was killed in cold blood by the hero of Ferelden. the Lion's Claws. Foiled at every turn by the infamous outlaw Lady Rosamond, the ever-persistent Teyrn Loghain fielded an army to chase the bandit through the Korcari wilds. Eventually, she was captured near Barchamp. Bound, gagged, and in chains, she still managed to escape on the first night using thieves' tools concealed in these gloves. To this day, there is an unclaimed bounty on her head of 1,000 sovereigns. Damn! What was she doing to piss off Teyrn Loghain that much? Flippin' heck. Anything under lore? The Qunari. We read that. The Qun. Long ago, the Ashkari lived in a great city by the sea. Wealth and prosperity shone upon the city like sunlight, and still its people grumbled in discontent. The Ashkari walked the streets of his home, and saw all around him were the signs of genius. Triumphs of architecture, artistic masterpieces, the palaces of wealthy merchants, libraries and concert halls. But he also saw signs of misery. The poor, sick, lost, frightened, and the hopeless. And the Ashkari asked himself, how can one people be both wise and ignorant? Great and ruined, triumphant and despairing. So the Ashkari left the land of his birth, seeking out other cities and nations, looking for a people who had found wisdom enough to end hopelessness and despair. He wandered for many years through empires filled with palaces and gardens, but in every nation of the wise, the great and the mighty, he found the forgotten, the abandoned, and the poor. Finally, he came to a vast desert, a wasteland of bare rock clawing at the empty sky, where he took shelter in the shadow of a towering rock and resolved to meditate until he found his answer or perished. Many days passed, until one night, as he gazed out from the shadow of the rocks, he saw the lifeless desert awaken. 100,000 locusts hatched from the barren ground, and as one, they turned south, a single wave of moving earth. The Ashkari rose and followed in their wake, a path of devastation, miles wide. The once verdant land turned to waste, and the Ashkari's eyes were opened. Existence is a choice. There is no chaos in the world, only complexity. Knowledge of the complex is wisdom. From wisdom of the world comes wisdom of the self. Mastery of the self is mastery of the world. Loss of the self is the source of suffering. Suffering is a choice, and we can refuse it. It is in our own power to create the world or destroy it. And the Ashkari went forth to his people. An excerpt from the Qun, Canto 1. I love the Qun! I love the Qun and the Qunari so much. I want more info. Okay, and I don't believe yet that is everything. Good stuff. In the next episode, I believe we will be heading to the gallows. We have a letter for Thrask. And after that, I think we might head up to Hightown. We have a lot of quests there, and we haven't actually checked the shops there at all. Sir, what are you doing? Oh, okay, good talk, sir. But that will be in the next episode. So, until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.